Hey, Carolina fans, welcome back to Alumni Game. We got our alumni here, Mike Ritchie, your host, class of '02, Sam Niedermeyer, class of '02, John Buster Clarkson. No, sorry, we're '06. You're '02.
That's right. O2 was high school. What are we
Good
talking
thing
about?
I got those numbers wrong because I got numbers wrong last week. We
Distracted
all
by
did.
losses.
Let's get it out of the way, Carolina fans. If you're a South Carolina fan and you bleed Garnet, Carolina does this sometimes, and it's hard. I was watching the game at home, and yeah, it was hard. It was hard. Stopped watching at a certain point. Normally would never do that, but a friend of mine on this show stopped watching, and I was like, "That's actually the right thing to do because it hurts." It
Who was
hurts.
that? Who did that?
That was the guy with the best hair, not the
Stop
best
it.
beard, but the
Stop it.
best hair.
Stop
And
it.
size is probably everything because it's the longest on the show. Mine is short, so but whatever. No, it was a tough game. Didn't expect it really. Vandy, really came to play and they beat us. And I think might have jinxed that on our previous show. But we're interested in moving forward and we got Missouri after this game, so I think we're gonna talk more about that tonight. But Buster, I want to take it to you and just talk about moving forward with this team and this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to close the door on this Vanderbilt game. I was actually there. I was in the stadium with a couple of our mutual friends that you guys know that y'all went to school with. Was able to secure a ticket. Enjoyed the tailgate. Enjoyed the Clemson loss at the tailgate. Then went into the game, fired up, and came out with the biggest letdown. Now, I did put in a bold prediction last week. That doesn't count, I say, because that was based solely on the fact that LaNorris was going to play a full game. Obviously, he didn't, so that gets put out the door. But because my prediction was so wrong on the score, I will take a sip. Now, I've also been using this as medication for this past
That's not
weekend.
sake.
So this is not sake. This is a great Pilsner from Sierra Nevada. It's a brand new item they've put out, courtesy of my beautiful and lovely wife. She has told me about this. I found it in the store, and it is delicious. So cheers to you guys.
Cheers. Where's my drink?
I got a fat tire. I'm gonna hit this fat tire with you, my
There
friend.
you go.
Fat
So
Tire.
wash away a loss. Ready to
Fat
start.
Tire, feel free to sponsor us on the show. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Looking for
Sierra Nevada,
sponsorship, fat
feel
tire.
free.
Or anything Buster drinks or
Sierra
more
Nevada,
drink or anybody
yes,
wants
those
us
checks.
to drink stuff, please let us know.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe if you like the channel. We are Carolina fans. We are a little upset because of this loss. But yes, Buster, we can't shut the door yet. We need some stats. We got to update some stuff. In fact, as far as I know from Coach, there's supposed to be an injury update today at some point. That's
Yes.
what he specifically said. So not that we're up to the minute on this show, but the general news right now is that LaNorris is concussed. He's in the protocol. There, per an SEC game and all that other stuff, depth chart, injury, all that comes out later today or at some point, probably by the time this episode is posted, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Fingers crossed.
But that's kind of where we're at. And if you're a Vandy fan and you're tuning in, thank you, first of all, for tuning in. You guys did a great job. Diego Pavia is officially awesome. And I want to say is like Baker Mayfield, basically the other night. If you saw when Baker was basically hurt, but then his shit kicking ability or talking ability jumped in and he was fine and he was talking shit. Like Pavia came to play and they beat us. And that happens. And good for Vandy. And they're very competitive. And I wish them the best this year. And then I would close the book after I said, yes, LaNorris was injured and Dylan Stewart was ejected. Quick question there. Do you guys think that is something like, would he get suspended by the team at all for anything? Or
He's not
I
getting
haven't
suspended.
researched
Dylan
that.
is available to play
Okay.
against Mizzou per SEC front office. And I don't know how the rule is set up, but I think it's based on when the ejection occurred as far as during the game. And I think it was in such a way that it was early enough that he is available to play the entire game against Mizzou. So no problems there. The quick update on LaNorris, even though the official availability report does not come out till tonight, and with that being said, today's obviously Wednesday. Contacts, people in the know, things like that, have said that most likely things are pointing in the right direction. It hasn't been confirmed that he's practiced, but some people have said that he's practiced. Again, not confirmed. If you practice, that means you can be available. So we're going on that. Again, not a guarantee, not 100%
So,
confirmed,
so
but
for
there's
me
a
as
good
a
chance that he's
fan,
available.
I'm a fan of Carolina, and I don't know what I'm going to see this weekend. It's my opinion that even if LaNorris is available to play, maybe not. Like it depends on the player. It depends on what he wants to do. Like fine. So as a fan, what all I want right now, based on the way we played last week, and the spread on this game, and Missouri's good, right? I mean, as far as I have it, Missouri has the most yards. We have the least yards. So like I'm not expecting that we'll win this game, and I should probably pause there and let Sam give us all the stats because we have them. But basically,
Stat
like
boy here.
just to be prepared, and if you are a good coach, I feel like you have the scenario where LaNorris is not playing, and plan for that, and anything else is a bonus. So for you, is that the guy who played the rest of that game, or is it say someone else like Cutter Woods? Go see that episode. That's one of our best episodes. What do you guys think there? Because that's what I need as a fan right now to move forward with this team. I don't necessarily think I'm going to see something great this week, but I don't want them to force LaNorris either, right?
Yeah, you
Like
don't
I,
want
don't- I
that.
don't.
You don't want that. He's still a young man. He's
Yeah.
got a really long future in the professional leagues. Let's go over some quick high level numbers, and I'll jump into your question, Mike, because it's a great question, and I actually have a bold prediction here.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Good. I like
well,
bold.
wait
I
on
need
that one right
bold.
there. We need bold. We need bold and happiness,
I
right?
mean, I'm
So,
saluting Carolina. I need you to salute back.
game Saturday, September 20th, 7 p.m. in the other Columbia. That's in Missouri. Missouri's ranked 23rd. They just
They
jumped
just
up to,
got in, yeah.
just got into
And
the
we
top
still got
25.
votes too, by the way.
We're
Like,
still
yeah,
getting
we
votes.
dropped
Clemson
out,
dropped
but
out too, which is good. Missouri is 13 and a half point favorites. Ouch. Started at 11 and a half. It's jumped up 2 full points. The over under is 46 and a half points. So you got to factor in, they're probably thinking we lose, what is that, 27 to 13-ish kind of? I don't know,
something
26
like
to
that.
20,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. I don't know. I can't do math. I was
Couple
never a good
special
math
teams
teacher.
touchdowns.
Mizzou, yeah, Mizzou has an 80% chance of winning from the ESPN models. Reminder, we were at a 65% chance of winning last week. Here's some trends. Missouri has covered 6 straight times against South Carolina. Like I said, the spread opened at minus 11 and a half, so the bettors really do like the Missouri Tigers, especially with this news that perhaps LaNorris Sellers doesn't play. It kind of does come down to that. Listen,
Yeah.
that is the big question, Mike, right? Is LaNorris Sellers going to play? I think the beginning of the season, Aaron Nolan may have been higher on the depth chart than Cutter Woods, and I just pulled up right beforehand. So you got to think that if Luke Doughty, right, if he is the starter in this game over LaNorris Sellers, I have to imagine he's going to have a short leash. I really do. I think Aaron Nolan's just a little too talented. You like Luke Doty, he's a leader, he's a graduate assistant, but he doesn't have the physical capabilities that an Aaron Nolan does. There's a reason he was a 5-star recruit and was recruited by Ohio State and
He doesn't
transferred to
have the
South Carolina.
tangibles. He has all the intangibles.
Tangibles, baby. That's what we talk about. So there could be a bold prediction at
Phalanges.
the end of the game there in terms of that. Reminder also that Vanderbilt, just to, I know we said we close the door there. We beat them 16 straight times. They hadn't won since the Bush administration against us.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in a
these
way, it
things,
feels
at
like
some
when we
point,
beat
someone's got to
Alabama
win
to them.
something.
Not to put them down, even though that's what I'm doing. Like, okay, they got us. And they
It was
were
due to
more
happen. You're not
prepared.
going to
And
win 100 straight years against the team. You're just not. Not in the
yeah,
SEC.
no, and I like it. And I was being honest when I said, best of luck to them because it's good to have them competitive. Like, if you're in the SEC, you got to be competitive. If not, you're a cellar dweller. If you're a cellar dweller, they're going to make you get out. You know what I mean? So like, I just, they're competitive. Great. They're not an easy out. We should have circled them on the calendar. We should have brought some trick plays. Where are our trick plays? We can't execute the regular offense. So, I mean, I don't want to go too high up. I think there were a lot of mistakes on a lot of sides. I know we're closing the door, but you got to fix those mistakes to have a chance at Missouri, really, is the reality. Put aside all the ranking stuff. Put aside an SEC championship. Put aside any of that stuff. It's about playing games and winning games right now, right? It's like kind of almost crisis mode, really, right?
Do you
You
think
guys know the schedule coming up. We did half the year already. Go see that episode. We were wrong. We should probably redo it. But like, I don't know. I think I want to talk about where this team is at, right? Because it's weird. But the next day after this game, guys, I got a Patriots win out of
there's the
nowhere.
Patriots plug? There it is.
No, I'm just saying on a personal level, I had this loss, which destroyed me, and then I had a Patriots win, and then I had a New York Liberty win against Phoenix, so that was pretty cool.
By the way,
Um,
our boys are playing each other next week, Mike. Patriots, Steelers, get ready for it.
yeah, get ready. Get
Get ready
ready,
for
Aaron
it.
Rodgers.
I don't know, Buster. What do you think? Is this basically coming down to just does LaNorris Sellers play or not?
On the
Yeah.
line, yes,
Well,
for the
think about
betting line.
If LaNorris plays, you can see that spread shrink considerably because right now it's at that high because he's not confirmed available. To go back, yeah, Vanderbilt. This was their Super Bowl, to be honest. Like,
I
the
don't know
thing
about
is,
that though, Buster. They might win some other games.
this is their Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
but they
And
circled us.
Diego talked about this.
They
He
circled
said
us.
it in the SEC media days that this was the game he circled on his calendar. They came in fired up. They had some YouTube internet personality, was it iShowSpeed or one of those guys at his practice to break down at Vanderbilt's practice. They had their offensive lineman calling Dylan Stewart mediocre. The amount of hype and talk that they had this past week. This was their Super Bowl. To us, this was week 3 in the SEC, in our game and our SEC home opener. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
We still have our goals ahead of us. Like the biggest issue is like people, and this is the concern. The offense is terrible. We're pretty much last in every statistical category in the SEC.
Yeah.
We have not put together anything that remotely looks like an identity or a pattern or a scheme or a rhythm. The best look we've ever given anybody was the opening drive against Virginia Tech and the opening drive against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
That's 2 drives out of 80 something.
We are to spin it the other way because I said I would. We are 6th in the nation in something. Special teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
That's
would assume
beamable.
they will score another touchdown at some point. So that is on the docket. But yeah, no, I would agree. Something has to come together. Something has to come together soon. This weekend. We need to see like some sustained drives and completed passes and some kind of identity, some kind of plan to use the talent available because it's there. And maybe that is, using this as a motivator, like showing some players like what not to do, and like I would hope that after this game Dylan Stewart doesn't do anything to get thrown out of any games for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like that's a lesson to learn that you let your club down. LaNorris got taken out of this game by an illegal play. Dylan Stewart took himself out of this game.
He did take himself out of it. The refs took him out of it. If you watch the replay,
right, but at least now he knows what not to do to not get thrown out. That's all.
Well, he has to. I mean, he has to be able to touch the quarterback. And he looked like from the replay, all he did was bump into the quarterback. If that's roughing the passer targeting to the point of ejection, then we got to revisit the rules because
no, you're right. I think in the context of this
roughing
game,
the passer, and the ref actually, Brian Thomas said that the ref told him it was a body weight issue, which is why they called the roughing the passer. If you watch the replay, there's no body weight thing because he never fell on top of him.
You don't think the proximity to the hit on Sellers was more what they were thinking about?
That's
that it was
also
the Sellers.
It's a weird explanation, right? Like,
it's very weird. It's very weird. I'm not
punishing the guy
for
being
it or
bigger?
against it. I'm just saying for what happened, it feels like they kind of saw it as like, oh, you're retaliating because they hit your.
That's exactly what it felt like.
That's all.
From the referee. Well, yeah. Well, if that's the case, then there's nothing you can do about that. The refs are going to be biased in that way. Then there's no point in trying to improve your game or avoid that sort of thing. Like you can't avoid someone that has an opinion already out on what they want you to believe.
Yes. The only way you can avoid it is to throw your antenna up. Oh, wait, my quarterback just got hit. That was emotional. That is what it is. But put that in a box for a second. Don't go out there and bump the quarterback. Just try not to, just because you know about the refs. And I know you're changing your play because of the refs, but if you have to do that to stay in the game, then that's what you have to do.
Well, that's football. You have to, because what if you don't bump in the quarterback and he ends up making a pass and completes it over your head?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a there's listen, that's also an issue. I'm gonna give you some other stats that are terrible issues,
Yeah,
right?
let's
On
move
us
away
ends,
from this
right?
because I want to get away from the
Hun-
minutia of that game, and we are
fif-
closing the door there.
15.5 points per game. That is 115th in the country. Now we could chalk a little bit up to the LaNorris Sellers injury because they did look pretty good when he was in the game against Vanderbilt. So whatever. Rushing has been a huge issue, right? Let's see, 3.1 yards per rush. That's 106th in the country. Excuse me, that's 111th in the country. Rushing yards per game, 102.5. That's 106th. Third down on defense is also something that's very concerning. We brought this up last game. They're giving it's 46.67% on third down for defense. That's 105th in the nation. Now you add in that they're only sacking the quarterback 4.69% of the time, which is 89th in the nation. All these things that were strengths last year are now weaknesses. That's what it
Yeah,
comes down to. So is
yeah.
this a matter of coaching or is this a matter of personnel?
Which is also
Coaching.
coaching, right?
It's
Kind
all
of.
it's all coaching. We have the personnel because yes, were we worried about taking a step back on defense? Yeah, definitely. We lost a lot of production from last year going into this year, but we were gaining a lot in athletic ability, and the part that we thought was going to be the weakest of the defense, the interior defensive line, ends up being a great strength. So
Yeah.
you go back and Clayton White's team, you got to think back to Virginia Tech and SC State. They only allowed one touchdown between those
Yeah.
first two games. That defense was unstoppable those first two games. Yes, we could talk about, well, Virginia Tech's a bad team. They just fired a coach. SC State's an FCS school. But the fact of the matter is you play who's in front of you, and the defense looked great those first two games. This was the only game that they did not look great, and it didn't really start happening until LaNorris went out, and we had to kind of like scramble to figure out what kind of game we were going to go because,
Yeah.
again, when you're the defense, and sometimes the defense is based on the rhythm of the offense. If the offense can't stay on the field and you're constantly out there, you're constantly fighting against the refs and their calls, and you're constantly trying to play catch up, you're going to fall behind on defense.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. It's like
you're
fall
going to get
behind on your
exposed,
homework. You're
especially
never gonna.
the youth is going to get exposed because they're not used to that situation. They haven't played in this kind of environment where they're playing behind, they're playing tired, and granted, the
Playing
other thing
tired,
too
that's a
with the
huge
defense,
factor too,
like,
Vandy.
think about this: if you go out to eat to this restaurant, it's your favorite restaurant, and Sunday through Saturday
Hibachi.
you get a meal every single day, and that meal is great. There's going to be a point where on a Wednesday or Thursday, it's going to come out, and whatever reason, the cook in the back, you came at a busy time, whatever
You're
the case may
talking
be,
about a
you're
rainy
going to not
day,
have
man. If it's sunny every single day and it never rains, you're just like, oh, it's sunny outside again.
exactly. The defense is allowed to have a bad game, and they're allowed to have a bad game when everything got kind of screwed up as far as rhythm. That's not excusing the poor play because I still think
Yeah,
that
I
the
don't want to
coaches
do
need
that.
to,
I don't want it to
yeah,
seem like we're
it's just
homers here and like we don't realize this
there
is
is a
bad.
reason why things happen, and it's not just the random like, oh, we're all of a sudden a terrible team. I
No,
think we're not a terrible team. We just have to
had
get
a
our shit
terrible day.
together,
Yeah.
and our shit together to get our shit together means the coaches need to buck up, shut up, get back out there to coach, and make sure you're not making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
the
buck
sense
the fuck up.
almost that the Vanderbilt game was kind of the SC State game in reverse, where it was really like closer than the score said, but there was like three bad like breaks, right? And that was kind of what happened against SC State with
Yeah.
Vakari Swain returning two punts and the defense playing with the return. And then against Vanderbilt, it's the same thing. There's that big run, but also like losing LaNorris and then losing Dylan Stewart. You almost got that sense that the football gods were kind of coming back on
Mm-hmm.
us for the
Well, I mean,
SC
you
State
can put
win.
stitch a bunch of that together, right? You could
Sure,
definitely say that. You
sure.
could say that Vandy had never beat us. Like you could say that. You could say we
16
were
straight. Like it's
overranked, which
they
we
were
probably
due to
were.
win.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The only thing is, it came at the worst time for us when we had just
It
gotten the
did.
ranking and stuff like that.
I also
It's
would have
weird
liked
it happened the
LaNorris to be
same day as
healthy.
Clemson. You know.
I do like the fact that my Packers did win Thursday night. That kind of eased the pain a
Yeah,
little
come
bit. But
on, yeah.
here's the thing: is there is, and again, I'll give my prediction later, obviously in the show when after we talk to the keys to this upcoming Missouri game. But there is a reason for optimism, and this is what the reason is. If we are basing this off of bad coaching, so to speak, then what is going through that coach's mind? Why is there bad coaching? Like let's dissect and break that down. Like we can't just have a all-encompassing statement of, oh, we have a bad OC. Well, give me the reasons why. Give me a valid argument. So
Yeah,
that means
and
you need to have
it's
cause
probably
and
something to
effect.
do with communication. It's probably something to do with game plan. Like, did
Well,
you think that Vandy would come out with every trick play in the book and fire everything in the first
it's a
quarter? Like,
combination of all of that. It is the perfect storm of levels of variables that are happening, and we are not getting all of those things in a row. So, like one,
yeah,
if you look at the opening script, that opening drive, Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt, we looked great. We had good
Mhm.
blocking. LaNorris was hitting his guys. You look at LaNorris before he went down with this concussion, he was 6 of 7, 94 yards. That's a pretty good clip to start the game out. So those things are showing us that there is potential there. Why are we having a bad time? And why do we look so different from the opening script? We have a new OC. He's getting his feet wet. I don't remember the last time he coached at the offensive coordinator position. I know he was the head coach at Alabama, but as far as a coordinator position in charge of the offense, I don't remember the last time he did that at the college level. Obviously, he did it at
Carolina
the
Pan.
NFL
Oh,
level,
right, right.
but
yeah,
that's a
but I get
different
what
beat.
you're saying, Buster. Like, okay, so we're saying offense, and we see the OC. Who's below the OC? There's the O line and the O line coaches. What are they doing, and why is the O line so terrible? Let's start there. You know what I mean? Like, we
Mm-hmm.
know there's talent on that O line, and they're struggling. Like, why are they struggling? You know,
Well,
what's happening there?
that's the
Could
chain
be.
reaction.
Could be a little, yeah, okay, so chain reaction makes a little bit of sense. Could be kind of a little bit of a learning curve for definitely for Shedrick, right? Like this is his first
Yeah,
time in starting in the big league, sort of say, with in front of 90,000 people. It could be a combination of now, maybe they did, so to be fair, there did to be appear to be a little bit of a rhythm when LaNorris was in there. I know we had the bad snap
Yeah,
and on the set was that the second or third drive, they had the really bad snap that put us back to
third drive.
second or
yeah,
third and 33. Outside of that, outside of a little miscommunication, the offensive line was gelling with LaNorris, right? Like Luke
Mm-hmm.
Doty comes in, that can kind of put a little bit of disruption there in terms
yeah,
of
yeah.
cadence, in
The
terms
center
of,
exchange isn't as
like
Yeah,
good. Like,
it's
and that was
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing is think about
it
that
did look
first
like there was some
play.
momentum.
Yeah, that first play when Luke came in, the one that where Shane lost his mind on the sideline. That's because they blew the whistle very late to review the LaNorris hit and see if it was targeting. They literally blew the whistle right at the snap of the ball. What happened? Luke Doty hit Nyck Harbor going across the middle. What
yeah.
has been I think an 18-yard gain, but he had so much room in front of him, and with his speed, he could have probably scored a touchdown there. So that rhythm was still going. I think what's happening is Shula is still trying to figure out how his offense plays into the grand scheme of the game. He has the opening script, but then he's got to play. Kind of like what like we were talking about in the pre-show. Like if I give you a bunch of math problems and I give you all summer and fall and all week to figure them out and get them correct and write the answers down, you can do it, no problem. But then I have to give you the same 100 math problems, but you're getting them in every 20 to 30 seconds, and you're not necessarily you're going to have an idea what I'm giving you, but you don't know the exact math problem, what
Yeah,
order. So
it's
he's
like
having
running a marathon
problems.
as opposed to a sprint. It's
Yeah.
totally different,
So
basically.
he's having problems, maybe getting the right play call. That's going to get better over the course of the season. He's going to start getting into a rhythm. He's going to find his groove, and he's going to start getting better play calls out there. With bad play calls, or maybe play calls that don't match up to the defense, then that causes the O line to have miscommunication and execution breakdowns. When that happens, then LaNorris can't do his thing. When LaNorris can't do his thing, then you're afraid to get him into design runs because you don't want to get him hurt. So you do RPOs and dropbacks to keep him safe. Well, he's not a pure pocket passer. He does best when he's out of the pocket and improvising. All these things kind of work together. And the idea is that my optimism going into Missouri is that this was the put up, shut up time. And, someone like Coach Beamer is going to
It
put an
still kind
ultimatum
of
down.
is. It still
Yeah,
kind
Coach
of is.
Beamer is going to put an ultimatum down. I was like, guys, enough of this stupid shit. Let's figure this out and get out there and knock these guys out. And I really think, like, once this rhythm happens between Shula as a play caller and the offensive players starting to click and execute at a better clip, then you're going to see the offense that we've been promised all offseason.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
I
trying
would
to get
agree. I would agree. I think that this year right now looks a lot like last year. There was just a lot of other talk about how good we had gotten and our ranking. Let's be honest, we lost our bowl game. Like, how is it that we got there, and we played some teams that weren't bringing it the same way, and Vandy just brought it because it got frustrated getting hit every single year, and now they hit back. And, that hurts sometimes. And this hurt, the timing hurt. But even if somehow we got a win last weekend where that wasn't happening, we were going to win this weekend. Like I don't even mind the 13.5. So you're telling me if we're only down like 7 or 8, that we get a freak score and we could be in it? Okay. All right. Like, okay. I got some hope there because I do think this is a question of all of them playing together and playing good competition together. Not that the other teams we played weren't good, but Vandy also beat Virginia Tech by a lot, right? And so I just think, like, I don't know, level of competition wasn't high and Vandy really brought it. And Missouri's a step up from that. So I think we should officially close the door and now probably go on to, what we have to do with this team and these players for this Missouri game. So Sam, give me some numbers there.
In terms of numbers, Mike, we got a few here that could be interesting when you look at Missouri's averaged about 34.4 more points scored this season than South Carolina. That's seems like a weird number. The big one, they hold a 277.3 yard advantage in per game over South Carolina. Ahmad Hardy is the big guy here. He's ran for 57 carries, through 462 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Wow, jeez.
In terms of third down defense, we just talked about Pribula, Bo Pribula, who came in for whoever the starter was. Listen, Eli
Brady
Driscoll
Cook was last year.
That's him.
Yeah, so
Eli just was just amazing with the spread offense. Guys completing 68 out of 89 passes, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 791 yards. Statistically, they just dominate everywhere. Different competition, but stats aren't in our favor at all.
Yeah. No. But
we got some keys though, Buster. We got some keys though, don't we?
Yeah, keys.
So I mean, the biggest key, obviously, LaNorris. We wish him well, speedy recovery and all that. But if he can be available, that helps us change the narrative and gives us a better outlook for the game. So obviously that's key one. I think key two, Mike, you were hitting on this, and I'll let you do a quick little blurb, but I want to see playmakers get involved. And that starts with the wide receiver room, but just as important, the running back room. Like, we got Rasul, we got Oscar Attaway. Let's do it like what Georgia used to do with like Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Run them all.
Yeah.
Run them all.
Todd Gurley would be stretching on the sidelines, and then you'd have someone else in, and then Todd would come back, then he would go stretch. And then when he got drafted, I was telling everybody, I'm like, dude, he's not going to last. He's like there now, and that's great. And, go Atlanta. But it ain't gonna last. But yeah, that they had this rotation, and that's why like Georgia quarterbacks weren't really a thing, or Alabama quarterbacks weren't a thing for a while because they just had all these running backs, And I kind of like that model, like the bulldozer guy, the plotter guy who can like get you on the goal line. You got the passing back, and then maybe you got the other guy who's a combination of everything. And you have your certain packages with your hurry up offense, with that back, and you have your goal line and you have packages for other people. That would be cool. Because I think Attaway is one thing, Faison is something else. I want to see a third guy. And if you need Dowdy and you got to protect him, bring in a fullback. I don't know. Like, maybe you got to go a little more rudimentary if it's your backup.
Yeah. I think key two for me would be keys. Like key two, it sounds crazy, but it's kind of like what we were saying about put up and shut up. Like time for the coaches to get their shit together. Like the thing is I put that key two outsmart Mizzou. Eli Dorkwitz has always had our number, whether they were less talented or more talented. Last year they had Brady Cook and Luther Burden. Those guys were great. Really liked Brady Cook. But, there was a weird thing about the injury report last year where he put Brady Cook as doubtful. Then all of a sudden he was 100% ready to play in the game and, lit us up. Dorkwitz has always been really good at figuring out the nuance of football. We need to outsmart him. And to do that, that's where Shane needs to go to his coaches in the coaches meeting and whatever they do.
Well, they're doing that anyway after last week. But yeah,
I think Beamer and company need to put up, shut up, and figure out how to call a freaking ball game. That to me is key too.
So look, we talked about ways that they can improve. We know they're going to improve in certain areas. Look, in special teams, keep doing what you're doing. But on both sides of the ball, we hope LaNorris is back, and there's maybe a game plan for that. I personally if I were Shane, I don't know if I would want to play him at all. I might want to give him a week and just figure things out. I have a game plan for someone else, but I hope there are packages that are ready without Doty. I hope everyone's been able to compete this week to see who will start this week, and if Coach unveils something crazy with the depth chart, maybe we'll come back on with a quick vid. But for us Carolina fans, I just want to see improvement. So that's going to lead me right to picks here because I just need to see it on the field and see what they've done all week. Like, Buster, what do you think they do this week? Like, what are you hoping for?
All right, so this will tie into a key that I thought about, and that would be fight adversity. We looked at it last week where we saw some mental mistakes. We could blame the refs on some plays, different things like that.
Definitely,
I think fighting adversity being key three, which means figure the shit out on the field. Don't let the game get away from you. And with that being said, my bold prediction: this will be either a shot or another delicious glass of Sierra Nevada Pilsner
or Fat Tire, whoever wants to pass.
Whatever the case may be. Bold prediction: if LaNorris comes back and we get our shit together, which I think we will, we're going to see 230 passing yards from LaNorris. All right, and then my score prediction: I'm going to go 28-24. And you're like, okay, well, who's winning? That's the key there. 28-24. If LaNorris is back, that's us. If he's not back, that's
the other way.
I like that. I like that.
So you're kind of covered both ways. Got it. Look, I'm going to go ahead and say, like, he shouldn't play. If it's any kind of to a situation, which it could be, and let's remember that any concussion-related thing is a personal health issue. So it is 100% with the player. This is like the reason that Andrew Luck hung it up, that Tua should hang it up, that, a lot of other players, Junior Seau, might have hung it up. So I don't want to plan on that. I want to hope that something fun happens, refer to our Cutter Woods episode. And if that happens, then I'm sure I'm with you. But I think I'm picking more realistically here. I think they cover, which is nice because as a Carolina fan, I need to see improvement. If they cover, then they do at least what Vegas thought they would do, which is not what we did last week. And they've improved, And I think if it's something like 31-21, I hope it's not 2 scores, but I think they're going to cover. The 13.5 is kind of generous, especially for us going to Como instead of Cola.
Yep.
I will drink cola, but I will go. I mean, Lake Como in Italy, it ain't. I know that because I've been to Lake Como. Lake Como is one of the most beautiful places on earth in Italy.
Yes, it is.
I've been to cola too, and I drink cola, not pop. That's people from Ohio that I met in Columbia when I was in school. But no, so that's kind of what I would think. But Sam, I'll bring it to you, and some final thoughts on what was last week, and moving on to Mizzou and what we got this week.
Is Clayton White ready to send some blitz packages on Bo Pribola? Bo Pribola's passer rating diminishes. Not terrible, but it does get worse against certain blitz packages. We saw it last week against, I think they played Louisiana or something like that. A lot of teams playing zone against them. Let's see some zone blitz this week. If we see some zone blitzes, I think we can hold that offense down so that they're not scoring 40 points. I think they could put him in check a little bit more than Diego Pavia. Bo Pribula doesn't have as much escapability as Diego.
Very escapable.
Very escapable, that guy. So I think if Clayton White can draw up some zone blitz packages, I think he's been holding out a little bit. I think this is the time they're waiting to throw some zone blitz packages. We could see some turnovers. We could see some beamer ball. That being said, I don't think LaNorris Sellers plays, and he is the best player.
That was my question for you.
On
get it right from my lips to God's
My bold prediction is that Aaron Nolan's going to throw some scores, maybe run for one. That being said, I think Missouri wins 21-17.
Hey, you know what? What about this X factor? This has nothing to do with LaNorris being in or not. What do you say that Kari Sway, we know what he can do on special teams. Do you think we'll see him, A, get a turnover or make a highlight play on defense, but B, more importantly, do we see a guest appearance on the offensive side of the ball?
Ooh, interesting.
Travis Hunter style.
Maybe as a little kind of end around or
so I like
this.
A so look, we got 2 picks in here, and Sam will tabulate it and post on our social media. Check us out on Instagram at Alumni Game Podcast. or underscore podcast.
Underscore. Yep.
Underscore podcast, and then on YouTube at Alumni Game Podcast. You guys want to see anything? We got it wrong. We were way worse last week. We are way better this week. Whatever you guys think, comment, let us know. Tell me you hate me. That's fine too, as long as you comment.
I love you, Mike.
Well, then
I love
type
you
that.
too.
And also as a little bonus on the end of an episode, there's another show that I'm on called VCR Redux that's on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time. So you just go to YouTube, VCR Redux, and it's live at that time. And we're going to do the movie The Program. So tune into that. You can tune in live and be in the comments. I'm just hitting the guys with this, and I would like them to be in the comments next week at 9. And for whenever this episode posts, I believe that's September 24th, Wednesday, September 24th at 9 p.m. on YouTube, VCR Redux, The Program, which, if you know this, was filmed on the campus of South Carolina. We've all seen it. We all watched it while we were in school.
And
Didn't
if
do
you
drugs
watch
like the
very
guys in the
closely-
movie, not those
If
drugs.
you watch very closely in the stadium scenes, you might see a younger version of this good-looking guy. Because I was at the
Best-
game where they filmed it, so keep a lookout, guys.
And you'll be able to
Best
find
looking
more about
extra
that
ever.
and links on our social media in the comments here. So if you subscribe, you can get stuff like that and let us know if you want more. And I like this because I think what we have for next week is Buster picked maybe Carolina with LaNorris. Sam picked maybe Carolina, probably not, with Aaron Nolan. And I'm going to say then, and I'm just going to take it because it's mine, that Cutter Woods gets in there and maybe he gets in the red zone. I'm not going to go for a score, but I'm going to say in the red zone, and we'll see what happens next week. And we'll obviously be back to recap that, watch our other episodes, let us know what you guys want. And I think, because we got a hard out, that I'm almost a minute over, that's another episode of Alumni.
Cox!
Game.
Cox! Dude.
Yeah!